Hi there guys, welcome back to another video on the Retrobrown Solo Run Johto channel. These are the Johto playlists. As you can see, we've got Slowking wiggling around in front of us, and it's going to be an interesting video to be fair. So let's have a quick chat about Slowking before we actually get started. I'm excited to do this one because I've actually not done any runs yet with the Slowpoke line. It's got a base stat total of 490. And that's spread out quite evenly across its HP, attack and defense, which are kind of mediocre, but it's got fantastic special attack and fantastic special defense. Now the drawback with Slowking, of course, is that speed, which is so common in Gen 2 Pokemon. They just decided this generation was going to be the slowest, possibly in the entire series. Why they did that is beyond me, but we can choose Slowking, we can move on, and we can have a look at that initial moveset we get. So to start off with, we actually get Curse and Tackle as moves. Now, if you're common with watching solo runs where you go against Red, right at the end of a Johto run, Curse is actually a fantastic move that seems to be prevalent on most solo runs. And what Curse does, it lowers your speed but increases your attack and your defense, which, considering we're already a slow Pokemon, doesn't hinder us very much at all. And once we've set up that attack and the defense better, we can sweep with just 2 hits here on the Chikorita. I chose Chikorita because we're a Water Psychic Pokemon, and very soon that Chikorita is going to get a Razor Leaf attack, which is very powerful in the early game. Very, very powerful. But because of this initial moveset, especially with having Curse, we can take our time, we can set up, we can get our attack very high, and then we'll just sweep with Tackle when we actually hit, of course. And I always show this Birdkeeper Ape right at the start because his Spear actually is quite annoying sometimes. It actually has got quite high attack. Peck's pretty good move for this part of the game. Like, if you watch my Smeagol run, I actually carried Peck for the majority of the game, which I'd never thought I'd have to do, but yeah. He's a tough challenge to start off with in Falconer's gym. When it comes to Falconer though, the big drawback with it is that his Pidgey and his Pidgeotto like to spam Mud Slap. Strangely enough, not in this battle. So once we've set up our Curse, they go for Gust, and a Tackle is enough to take them out, so we get past Falconer at level 10. And it's not too far before we get our first Water move, and it's the only Water move we'll learn via level up, which is Water Gun. Why we don't learn more Water moves is beyond me, but to be fair, the other moves that we're going to learn at the same time are going to be more than worth it. We learn Confusion, which will help us against Morty. We get Psychic at level 46, I think it is, or 48. It's very small on my screen right now. And unfortunately, we don't have it for this fight here. If we did have Confusion, this would be an extremely easy fight. But the Ghastly, we've taught Mud Slap. So Mud Slap's going to be super effective, especially now we set up a few curses. The problem is if we just don't wake up and we take too much damage. So we managed to take out the Ghastly quite easily, and we're now level 16. We go into the Bayleaf, and this is where it causes a few problems. We have taught Swift, but it does have a really bulky defense. So we are going to lose this attempt. And as I said earlier, it's that Razor Leaf from the Chikorita, or now the Bayleaf at level 16. It's going to be very good in the late game when we actually manage to get Blizzard or Icy Wind or even Ice Punch. Because that means that Chikorita, Bayleaf, Meganium, whatever it is at that point in the game, we're not going to have anywhere near much of a problem. So going into the rival fight again, I actually chose a different strategy. Because we've now beaten Bugsy, we've actually got Fury Cutter on our moveset. And yeah, because we've got Fury Cutter, the Bayleaf is not a problem whatsoever. I don't know why I haven't got the Bugsy footage if I'm being honest, but as you can tell, we've got Fury Cutter, so that means we'll have won. And now we've used Fury Cutter, we've taken down his Pokemon. As I've messed up the input for the rival's name, so he's now just called and we can move on. So in Goldenrod, we can pick up Ice Punch, which is a fantastic move. Gen 2 is very good with the elemental punches. Because of that special split, they're all special. Any special type Pokemon learning these moves. So far in these runs, it's become very prevalent that they're going to do well on a run if they can get those elemental punches. It gets you past so many of the difficult fights, from Jasmine Steelix to Lance's Dragon types at the end. If you can get at least one of them punches, you've got a good chance of doing well on this run. Maybe not so much with Thunder Punch, but we'll soon see if the likes of Electric come up anytime soon, because that is one of its main moves. When we were against Whitney, as soon as we've set up our cursors, we've now picked up Headbutt. We can sweep quite easily. It's going to take 2 Headbutts still to take down the Miltank, but we can take him out quite quickly. So I'll be honest, this is honestly the very first time I've ever used a Slowking. Because you had to go back later in the game to go and get a King's Rock, I genuinely never went out of my way to get a Slowking and use it in a team. And I really think I've wasted a lot of time not using it, because it is a very good Pokemon. We are sailing through this game so quickly. Morty, we've now got up to level 25. We have learnt Confusion, and we're just going to sweep his team so well. Yes, it's going to be a problem if he puts us to sleep or uses Curse, but there's 2 Pokemon down. We're at pretty much full HP. Gengar puts us to sleep annoyingly. Uses Dream Eater, but it's not super effective, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And we just need to make sure we wake up, we get a Confusion in, and then we can win. So Confusion's still not a one-hit KO. It's going to take 2 hits, and the final Haunter comes out, we got half HP. He uses Nightshade, we use Confusion, and we take the win. And that's Morty down. That's 4 gym badges, and I feel like right now we're starting to keep up with Sneasel, which was so far my quickest run on this channel. Next up, we're going to go over to Chuck, because we've got the type advantage. We might as well go do his gym, get Fly, come back and try and attempt Jasmine. If we can't do Jasmine at the level we're at, then we'll have to move on to Price and just make sure we can get a few more levels, a bit more of the story done. And there's not really much to talk about with Chuck. Even if he hits the Dynamic Punch, it doesn't do much damage because of our bulk. 2 Confusions is more enough to take him out, and we take the win and move on to Jasmine. So Jasmine's a very annoying one, really. So she might as well just be the Steel Electric type gym leader of this generation. And it's annoying because those Magnemites, they use Thunderbolt. And if they don't use Thunderbolt, they use Thunder Wave and Supersonic. So the level we were at, it didn't make sense to continue trying. We're going to move on to Price. Going to get a few more levels up, and then hopefully once we've completed that side quest over in Mahogany Town, we'll have enough levels to take on Jasmine quite comfortably, because at level 32, 33, we just had no chance. And we go, as always, we like watching Lance Hyper Beam a random passerby. We'll take on the Rockets, and we'll finish off this part of the quest. And now we've got up to level 36. We're actually not as high a level as some of my other runs around this point. We've ran out of Headbutt PP. We're going to have to switch over to Confusion, which I probably should have done from the start, considering it's a poison type. Murkrow, it's weak to ice, so we're going to go with Ice Punch. And last up is, of course, the Gloom. So we can either go for Confusion or Ice Punch. I'm going to go for Ice Punch. It's a one-hit KO. And we have completed this side of the Rocket side quest. Now we've done that, we can go against Price, and we do have a good advantage over the types here. Ice type moves are not strong against us. We've got high special defense. We're going to have quite an easy time against him, in my opinion. See, Icy Wind, all it does is reduces your speed, does very little damage. Headbutt was a better move for him to be using there because it has that flinch chance. Dugong comes out next. We're going to set up curses on the Dugong. I probably could have done that against the Seal. Either way, we're going to be losing our speed. Might as well get a bit of attack up and wait it out until we get to that Piloswine. Now we've set up, one Headbutt is more than enough to take him out. But can Piloswine tank it? It goes for a Blizzard. We didn't get the freeze, which is perfect. And it still was not enough to take him out in one. So, if we can get the flinch. No, we didn't get the flinch, but Fury Attack doesn't do very much. We've beaten Price, we take the 6th badge, or at least 7th canonically, and we can move back over to Jasmine. So the big problem with Jasmine, again, is going to be those Magnemites. The Steelix is actually going to be the easier one in her gym right now. So we need a way to get past those Magnemites really quickly. And there are different moves that we could go and get. We could go and get Dig. But I feel like we can get through with Ice Punches. We do get paralysed on that first turn and Thunderbolt does hit. So if I can't do it on this attempt, I will go and get Dig just for this fight. Second Magnemite comes out, confuses us. This is why I hate these Magnemite. The Para-Confuse combo is very annoying. So now we're not confused. Take it out with the second Ice Punch, and now we're just on the Steelix. If we get hit by one Iron Tail, I don't think we actually tank it. And he misses. And we lose. So yeah, let's try that again. God, Jasmine is a proper lottery. I think the key with Jasmine really is outspeeding. So on the second attempt, we do get paralysed again, but we managed to get past that first Magnemite without being confused. So we're at full HP going into that Magnemite. It goes for Thunderbolt, so we should be on around about the same. Oh no, it doesn't go for Thunderbolt. We hit through the confusion with an Ice Punch, and we move on to the Steelix. I think 2 hits are going to be more than enough to take out this Steelix. We just got to hit both. It goes for Sunny Day. Iron Tail doesn't do much. Ice Punch again. And we get a critical hit. So yeah, more than doable to do at level 38. And now we've beaten all 7 gym leaders, we need to go finish off the Rocket side quest, which, of course, as you know, is not my favourite part of this game. I feel like it could be more than a good enough game without that side quest, but hey, it's there, we can't do anything about it. Let's go against the rivaling in the underground. So Golbat's first, it's always outspeeding us, and one Ice Punch takes it out. We managed to hit through the confusion. Next up is the Magnemite, another Magnemite. This game really buffed up Magnemite with that, giving it that steel typing. I mean, it does make sense, but it really buffed him up with that. Very, very bad Pokemon in Gen 1 in my opinion, but giving it that steel typing brought new lease of life into it. And then they decided to give every trainer, every major trainer some sort of Magnemite. It became very tedious. So we've got past the Meganium, we've got one Pokemon left, we're poisoned, and one confusion is going to be more than enough to take out the Haunter. So, first time victory against him, not bad at all, we're actually keeping up very good time, and we just need to beat the Rocket Executive at the top of the Radio Tower, and we can move on to Claire. So, the Houndour is not going to be a problem whatsoever. We haven't taught Surf or anything yet. I don't even know if I want to teach Slowking Surf. I mean, we do have good special attacks, so it would be advisable, but Return is such a good move when paired up with Curse that I don't really want to get rid of it. So, now that the Houndour and the Houndour are down, of course that makes our lives a lot easier with a Coffin, because we've got Confusion, and very soon we're going to be getting Psychic, so I want to remove Confusion for Psychics, a much more powerful move. But we need to see how we do against Claire first. We're not going to outspeed a Pokemon. Ice Punch is the best move to be using. And we take it down. I'm surprised it didn't go for anything like Thunderbolt or Thunder Wave there. So this Dragonair does go for Thunderbolt, and we get hit by Paralysis, man. Oh, status effects in Gen 2. They're the bane of my life right now with these runs. But Ice Punch is more than enough to take him down. We've got 113 HP to take out this Kingdra. We're going to go for a Return, and it's going to be a free hit KO. She goes for Hyper Beam. She's going to go for... She didn't heal. She was in healing range and she didn't heal him. Is that because she used Hyper Beam and had to recharge? I thought they could still heal in between. Well, either way, we got the win there. And we can move on to the last rival fight in Victory Road. So, first out this time, he has Sneasel. And he's going to go for Fury Cutter, we're going for Return. It's very defensively weak, so we can easily get through that. Level 50 going into this Magneton. Ice Punch was how we got through Jasmine's. Come on. It's going to take 3 hits, flipping heck. So we're down to half HP and we're only 2 Pokemon in. We've got a Meganium coming up next. And she still has Poison Powder, and she's still got Razor Leaf, so this is not looking great. Razor Leaf misses, and that might be what we need to win. And next up is Golbat. It's going to outspeed us. Bite doesn't do all too much, but one Ice Punch is more than enough to take it out. Next up, we have the Haunter. So we have Psychic now. That's going to be super effective. It wastes a turn with Mean Luck. And we got 46 HP going into the Kadabra. Usually it goes for Future Sight to start off with. So we're just going to go for Return. It's got very bad defenses. And we beat the rival first time. Even though we're poisoned, we're on low HP, we still managed to win. And that brings us on to Will. Now Will is going to be an interesting one. He doesn't have a type advantage against us with any of his Pokemon apart from maybe the Executor. But Ice Punch is a very powerful move on a Slowking. It takes out both of his first Pokemon with one hit. We hit ourselves in Confusion twice in a row, and then Ice Punch finally connects. So we're down to the Jinx, and it's quite defensively weak, so we're going to go for Return once we are actually awake. What is with Gen 2 and status effects? You're really annoying me now. Every single video. Finally the Jinx goes down. It's Slowbro against Slowking. You like to see it where there's different evolutions, but Slowking is the king in this circumstance. And that brings us on to Koga. Again, he doesn't have a type advantage. Most of his Pokemon are weak to Psychic type moves or Ice type moves, so we've got perfect mix to actually go about this battle. The Fortress, if it uses Explosion, will be a bad thing, but it doesn't use it. Crobat, as long as we can get an Ice Punch in or a Psychic, we will win. And that moves us on to the Muck. Again, Psychic is the best play to be using here. And last up is the Venomoth, and we sweep with Psychic. So again, first time victory against Will, first time victory against Koga. We've got the type advantage over Bruno, but Bruno's been a bit of a difficult one these last few videos. So let's see how we do. We do not outspeed the Hitmontop and it gets a dig in, doesn't do much because of our bulk, and we take it out in one. It's looking alright right now. Worst thing that can happen here, which has happened a few times, is we get froze by an Ice Punch. It doesn't happen here, and we can move on to the Hitmonlee. One more Psychic should take it out, and I misclicked for Ice Punch. So we're going to switch to Return. I need to keep those Psychics really with the PP. PP management is something you really need to keep an eye on while you're doing solo runs. Psychic's going to do big damage to the Machamp, that's why we needed Psychic. And last up, of course, is the Onix, which is weak to Ice Punch. This was an easy fight, in all honesty. We did take a lot of damage, but it's Bruno. You're going against him with a Psychic-type Pokemon. He doesn't really have the best matchup to you, especially when we're Water Psychic as well. Next up, though, we actually have a type disadvantage for one the first time since Bugsy. And this is going to be a difficult one. We can't use Psychic on the Dark-type Pokemon. It's not effective whatsoever. So we're going to have to go for a combination of Ice Punch and Return. It's not really worth my time against this Umbreon trying to set up curses, because really it gives them a chance to use Sand Attack, and as soon as your accuracy goes down, you might as well just start counting the hours until you just don't have anything left really. And there goes the Vileplume. Last up's the Gengar really. It goes for Curse, we're on 100 HP. It's not looking good now. No, this isn't looking good. Oh no, this is not good. Yeah, that's a reset. We ran out of PP. This is what I mean about it's what I mean about PP management in solo runs. So I actually had to get up a few more levels to go against Karen, just to make the battle consistent and even possible, because we kept getting to that Gengar and then just losing. Murkrow, of course, is very defensively weak. Ice Punch is more than enough to take it down. I'm interested to do a Murkrow run soon. I really hope it comes up on the wheel. Vileplume as well. We're going to go for Ice Punch because we want to keep those Psychics for the Gengar. We got one Psychic for the Gengar. We get Paralyzed, but we connect, and that's the Gengar gone. So we haven't been cursed this time, which is fantastic. Last up, though, is the Houndoom, and we don't have a water move to take it out, so we need to go for a Return. If it's a one-hit KO, we win, and it is, we get the crit. So that is Karen defeated, and we are finally on to Lance, the champion. We have got Ice Punch in our arsenal. We could also teach Blizzard if we really wanted to, but I feel like we've got more than enough to work with here. Biggest problem is probably going to be this Gyarados because it has Hyper Beam. And it's going to take 2 Psychics to take it out. First Dragonite is coming out. We know it's going to outspeed us. And paralyzes. Of course it paralyzes us. Status effects in Gen 2, people. Bane of my life right now. Second Dragonite, because we're already paralyzed, it's not going to go for a Thunder Wave. It goes for Hyper Beam. We get a chance to attack with an Ice Punch. We've got 3 Pokemon left. Each one of them is going to do some damage to us before we can even hit them. And we haven't really got much HP left for his final 2 Pokemon. Considering it's Aerodactyl, which is speedy and physically quite powerful, it leaves us with 30 HP to then take on the Charizard. And we're not going into this with a Water type move. Hyper Beam more than enough to take us out, and we're going to have to try this again. Do we need more levels? Do we just need better RNG? We'll find out in this fight here. So we're going into this fight at level 59. We're still going to go for Psychic first. Thankfully the Gyarados only went for 1 Hyper Beam. It's still pretty much starting exactly the same as last time. We're going to go for Ice Punch, and thankfully Thunder misses. So we got through 1 Dragonite without taking any damage, which is perfect. That gives us more to work with. Second Dragonite comes out. Of course, Thunder Wave hits. I really wish more Pokemon would have Safeguard. It would definitely make these fights much more fun. He uses Safeguard himself, but it gives us another chance to take out a Pokemon without losing any HP. So we've got Aerodactyl and we've got Charizard left. Aerodactyl goes for Hyper Beam. Actually, probably the best thing it could have done, because then gives us 2 chances to hit. Charizard is out next. We're going to go for Psychic. And it's not enough to take it out in 1, but Hyper Beam doesn't do much, and we take him out. So there we go. Slowking has become the king of the Johto region. Do you like that pun there? And with that, of course, we want to see the time. We want to see what level we finished on, and then we'll go over to Kanto and see how we do against Blue and Red. So let's see what time we actually finished this in. Slowking has finished the game at level 60, pretty low level. At 4 hours and 1 minute, we don't beat the 4 hour mark, only just miss it. That is ridiculous. I really wanted to get under 4 hours with Slowking, but this is probably due to that speed. Because we're having to do those extra turns with every opponent attacking first before us, that adds up over time, especially when you're doing hundreds of battles throughout the entire run. Next up, though, in Kanto, we're going to see how we do against Blue. So we haven't gained too many levels from travelling around Kanto. The Pidgeot is not going to be much of a problem whatsoever. It doesn't really matter about our speed. We've still got the exact same moveset as when we went against the champion. So once we've set up enough cursors, we just need to make sure that our defense isn't high enough that we can tank most hits. But now curse is fully set up. Return doesn't one-shot? Oh, because the Pidgeot was using Mirror Move curse. That's kind of annoying, but at the same time, not the worst thing in the world. Executor pretty much always goes for Solar Beam, but we can take it out in 1 because it's charging 1 turn. Next up's Alakazam. Worst thing it could do here, Psychic, and of course because our special defense is so high, it didn't do much damage at all. Next up, Gyarados. It's probably going to go for Hydro Pump or Hyper Beam, but 1 return is more than enough to take it out. Next up is going to be the Rhydon. Now this is the one I was more worried about, but Ice Punch is still a really powerful move against it. Its special is really low, even though its physical defenses are very high. And that just leaves Arcanine. Unless it gets a crit with something, we are going to win. Annoyingly, we get burned. But with those curses set up, it still does a lot of damage. He goes for a full restore, and we might lose this one just based off that burn damage. It's definitely a range. He goes for another full restore. Come on, please take him out. Please be a range. High range, high range, high range. Yes, it is. We get the critical hit, and we take him out with 6 HP and being burnt. That was lucky. That was very, very lucky. And that just leaves us with 1 challenge left, and that is Red. So Red always starts off with his Pikachu. Not a good matchup for us. We want to take it out as quick as possible. Next up is his Espeon. Because we actually do have the type advantage here, with, we're resisted to Psychic, even though Psychic is doing a lot of damage. We can now use Rest and get our HP back up to full. After so many Psychics though, he's going to start running out of PP, so he'll have to switch to a move like Swift. Psychic, we hang on with 7 HP, and we use Rest again. So what we're actually hoping for is to stall out his PP usage on Psychic. He goes for Reflect, we're going to go for Curse when we wake up. And we don't need to set up any more. The next Pokemon up probably will be, 7 HP again. We managed to hang on. This is going right to the wire with the Espeon. It's the battle of the Psychic types. Next up is probably going to be that Snorlax, in all honesty. Or it's going to be the Venusaur. It is the Snorlax. Because we've set up all of those curses, our defense is high. He's got a Reflect up right now, which is why it's not doing too much. The Reflect is faded. He goes for Rest, and we'll probably take him out in one hit here. And it's nearly a one-shot. That's very annoying. I would have thought that would be more than enough to take him out, but bear in mind our attack compared to our special attack is massively different. So we are asleep right now because of Rest. He's going to use Snore. We're going to just set up our last couple of curses. And hopefully this should be... critical hit, and we're paralyzed. This is not looking good now. Oh, please. No, we hang on with 9 HP again. This is... My emotions on this fight right now are so flipping heck. It keeps going down the wire. They've probably taken off 1,000 HP so far with the amount of times I've had to rest. So I misclicked there with using Ice Punch. We finally take it out with Return, and we move on to the Venusaur. He's going to go for Solar Beam, so we get a free turn to attack. And there's just 2 Pokemon left, and we've got a type advantage against this Blastoise. With being Water Psychic, we're resisted to it. Return takes it out, and now we've got the massive type advantage against the Charizard. Oh, come on, hit it. Return should have hit there. We took a risk, we went for Return, it hit on the second time, and we beat Red. So yeah, that was a very low level to finish the game on. But bear in mind that it is a second type evolution. We've got great base stats, great typing, great moves. So let's see what time we finished this in. We finished at level 70. And we had this moveset: Return, Curse, Rest, and Ice Punch. The only move that changed from the Elite Four was that we added Rest to the move pool. And let's see what time we got. We finished the game in 5 hours 15 minutes. That is really quick, to be fair. I don't think it's A tier Pokemon, but yeah, that was a very good run. That was actually really enjoyable, I've got to be honest. Slowking is a lot funner than I ever imagined it would be. And I'm really annoyed at myself that I've never played as it before until now. So with that being said, there's only one thing we can left to do on this video. Let's save and let's see what we get next time on the wheel for next week. I hope we get some good choices here. So, next up, when the video feed decides to fade out and into our wheel, let's see what we get this time on the wheel. So what I'm hoping for is a bit more of a challenge, but I do want I want a speedier Pokemon this time, because we have had some really slow Pokemon this for quite a while. Well, it's definitely not going to be Slugma compared to how bad the Macargo run was. I mean, we got a good time, but Macargo was very slow. I need a quicker Pokemon. And it delivers. We get Apom. It's not a strong Pokemon, but it's very quick, so that could be a good option. Oh, Houndour. We've got a lot of fire types coming up recently. You know what, I'm going to go with Apom. It's fast. I've never used it before. Let's see how we do. So guys, thank you for watching the video. If you got to this point, of course, you know how YouTube is. Please smash that like and subscribe button, you legends. And we'll see you next week for an Apom solo run. Take care, guys.